Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News. This is the Weather and Lifestyle News Channel. Boy, a lot of Earth stuff today, Karen. We got um, we got earthquakes, we got volcanoes, we got New York City. Oh, I got look at this. Wow, New York City in a smoke fog, and they're saying wear masks. They're telling people to stay indoors. What about the migrants? They're out. They're out there. I'm just kind of, they said they haven't had no lung issues yet, filling the hospitals, but are they telling us the truth? So hi, Miss Susan and Miss Karen. So Karen, I know you called, but um, my phone was out all morning. My fault. My fault. My phone was out. So it was out from late last night till about 2:30 today, and I kept trying to get a hold of William, and I was like, I don't know what the issue is. Why won't it let me call? Yeah, yeah, I goofed. I goofed. So that was me. Um, uh, you guys got the smoke down there in Pennsylvania so far? We'd like to know. I meant to ask Lee because he's up there. I think it's just, and they say it's intense. They said it's a really super hot fire, and that's what they seen in California too. Super hot. It was melting cars. What is what caused the fire? Did they have they caught the guy that set it? Was it a lightning strike or was it a beam from an airplane? Because we've caught them doing that on this show. So yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah, you're under red alert. Well, Karen, stay in your house. Close your uh, put towels in front of your doors and windows. I'm serious. Do that. You and Karen. Anybody that lives up in the north, put towels, thick blankets in front of your doors and windows to keep that from the smoke from coming in. Um, Change your filter on your AC. So, William, um, I tried to call, but my phone wasn't working, and I couldn't figure out why. And I found out about 2:30 of why it wasn't working, so I had to quickly fix it. All right, so we have here we go. Smoke erases New York City skyline, and here we go.
Is a time lapse of New York City from EarthCam. And the reason we wanted to show you this is because it is very evident when the smoke thickens because the buildings in the background disappear as the smoke sets in. And keep in mind, this time lapse takes place over the course of just a couple of hours. And this is where time lapse imagery can provide a very unique perspective of a serious health situation and allow us to see with our own eyes what's going on and then hopefully get better information to people who need to take the greatest precautions. And we realize that this is dangerous for everybody, but you would be especially worried if you have an upper respiratory ailment or a loved one in your life who does. So when you're overhearing or reading about New York City having some of the worst air quality in the world the last couple of days, this is what's being referenced. This is why it's so serious, why it's in the news cycle, because this is impacting millions of people. It's certainly not the only US city or Canadian city dealing with smoke, but again, a non deniable image that we are able to share with you thanks to EarthCam. Remember, if you can see or smell smoke, you're being exposed.
So Karen said she had to go out, and it would. I thought it was from a fire from around here, and you heard what they said. If you or see, if you see or smell smoke, you're being affected. Um, it, Boy, they're bound determined to put the masks back on us because they say wear masks. The N95 ones, the best ones you can get. I say just stay in your house. Um, and it shouldn't be, but they say it's getting worse, so there's more to come. um, and even when they're putting it out, that will cause smoke. We don't have any smell or smoke, Susan says. um, I mean, look at, I mean, the last picture they showed. Can you imagine the people in New York waking up to that, looking out their windows and saying, "Oh my God, I have to go to work." Yep, they have to go to work. It's not just if they want to; it's because they have to. Um, I know a lot of the commuters were. I'm wondering, is there smoke in the subways? They didn't say. With it being that thick, you would expect there to be smoke down in the subways. And I would like to see pictures of that. So I'm going to go looking for it tonight. Uh, all right. So we have, boy, smoke from Canada's wildfires is streaming into the east and causing unhealthy air. Um,
Well, the
and
smoke has
they
been a
have
big problem.
they have it on satellite, which is odd. It's coming up on the satellite, that this intense smoke, so you can actually see it. And let me throw this up there. So everything you see in the northeast on your picture um, is all smoke. This is from the fire. And, I seen that this morning on the Weather Channel, and I was like, this just boggles the mind on how harsh this is, how thick this is, how intense this fire is. So, yeah, we got more videos.
Well, the smoke has been a big problem for people in the Northeast. I know we had a lot of it in New York City yesterday. We still have a lot around today. Satellite imagery here really shows that it's not only the Northeast, it's also into parts of the Great Lakes as well. Here's where the air quality is going to be the worst today. Parts of the interior Northeast, pretty much the entire state of New York, down into the Delmarva. And all this smoke is coming from these wildfires up in eastern Quebec, north of Montreal. We've got a big, strong low that's sitting up over the Northeast. It's spinning counterclockwise. And so on the west side of that, the wind's out of the north, and that's what's funneling all that smoke from the intense wildfires down into parts of the U.S. Okay, so this is a model depiction of where the smoke will likely go. And you can see there's still going to be a lot of it in the Northeast, not only the Northeast, the Great Lakes, and some of it's actually making it as far south as the Carolinas, even parts of North Georgia. Okay, so the air quality forecast over the next couple of days. Again, today it's going to be the worst in the Northeast, still pretty bad up in New York. Not only New York City, the entire state there as well. You see less of the red colors on Thursday, so maybe the intensity of the smoke backs off a little bit, but we're still going to have some pretty unhealthy air, especially for people that have respiratory problems that are especially sensitive to it.
So, wow. Um, and they're showing it, some of it here. But today is like a horrible, very high pollen day. And I tell you what, my eyes are so swollen and they burn and they itch. Boy, Karen, I don't know. I may be coughing on the show. It's that bad. And it's kind of hazy here. And, when they showed that map of all the way down into Nashville, into Georgia, it's starting to filter through. So it's going to be interesting with the rain tomorrow. We have thunderstorms tomorrow, and we'll see if it wipes it away or if the smoke is going to continue to flow into the United States. So, yeah, oh boy. So we have not only that, but then we had I'm sorry, not Haiti. I'll get to that in a second. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. The Kilauea volcano has started to erupt, and this was early yesterday morning. No, I'm sorry, this morning. This is the second time this year, according to an alert released by Hawaiian Volcano Observatory. Now, according to them, Kilauea began to erupt about 4:44 um, Hawaiian Standard Times. They said oh boy, it detected a glow in the Kilauea Summit webcam images, which indicated that an eruption had commenced. And they do have some. Let me see if this is a good picture of it. Um, okay, they do have it. Okay, so um, all right. So let me put this up and we'll get this going. I got a lot of videos. So here we go. This is what their webcam picked up yesterday morning. Okay, so it did erupt. I mean, you could see right there. So this is what 4:44 a.m. that they caught on their webcam, and now it is spewing lava once again. Now, how far will it go? Last time it went all the way to the ocean. So they are not real sure what is going to happen with this. The cameras at the Halama Umau, a crater on the south rim, shows lots of activity, including an active lava lake with geysers of lava. So it erupted last time in January, and it continued until March 7th, according to Hawaiian Volcano Observatory. So how long is this going to last? Now, they had that big earthquake last week. Um, I'm not sure if it was Thursday or Friday when I reported that there was a good strong earthquake there. And now here we go. It has erupted. Um, Haiti had an earthquake, and at least four were dead. They said Tuesday morning, Haiti's southern region um, uh, broke into a huge earthquake, and they say huge. It was a 5.1, is what I seen. They downgraded to a 4.9. They say that it crumbled buildings and it killed at least four people. Now Haiti flooding has killed more than a dozen now. So they have flooding, they have had an earthquake, and half of Haiti's gone. It's only the northern part of Haiti that is really built up. The rest, or the southern part of Haiti, is the poor. Um, which volcano? It was Kilauea. Karen, I hope you heard that one. It was Kilauea that wish it let me do. Oh, there we go. No, it's not, still not going to let me do it. They show a picture. Um, it says a Hawaiian volcano, Kilauea caldera, after the volcano began erupting. So it's Kilauea that went. All right, and then earthquakes. Oh boy. So we have. I've got some earthquakes that not very many. They say 41, but when you look at um, all the dots on the map, it really don't seem like much. Um, they had the biggest one was, of course, down in around Fiji with the Loyalty Islands of 5.2. Then we had Wono, Indonesia, 5.6. Um, I didn't see these change. Then it's 5.1 with South Sandwich Islands. Then we go up to Colombia with a 5.1. Uh, Now, there was a cluster up around Alaska, and they, of course, are still having rumblings with three volcanoes that they call the sisters. And there's three of them together. And they have been rumbling for since the beginning of this year. And so now the clusters down in, we had one way up in Canada, Alberta, 3.0. Then we had one in Oregon border region and Washington. William, they're trying to shake you up a little bit up there, but it was more towards the Oregon border. Then you go straight across, and Ennis, Montana had a 2.5. Then along the fault line in Central California was a 2.6. Then we seen one in Beaumont, California, a 2.5. And then down in Mexico, a 2.6. And of course, we always see them in New Mexico. They always have quite a few. They're all 2.5s. These aren't very big. And then, of course, we seen one in the volcano Hawaii, 2.6. So it didn't start any earthquakes in Hawaii. And 2.6, it would keep lava flowing under the ground. So this could go on for quite some time. We did have one over in Bulgaria, a 4.6. Now, when I seen it, I really expected something about a 5.0, 5.1, since we're seeing fives. So this is really odd that it was a 4.6. So 41. And now there was two down at the Sandwich Islands. One was a 5, one was a 4.9. Now they're so close together. I'm thinking both of them were real close to like 5.0, 5.1, 5.2. The one in Colombia. Um, so it lines up. It's almost like in between. You can line it up with the San Andreas fault line, or you could even line it up with um, the fault line that runs through the center of the states. So we're going to keep an eye on this and see which volcano goes next. Then we had in Ukraine, um, this dam destroyed tens of thousands. Me and William are probably going to do a show, have this on our show, the World War III report, because it's something that's a strategy, or it could be. It depends on who does it. But they did have their dam broke, and tens of thousands of people's homes are being threatened at this point. All right, chroming. I don't know if you've seen down in the description of chroming. This is a new fad, folks, and why do they got to sniff stuff? I don't get it with the college students. This time, two parents are speaking out after their teenage daughter was tragically killed by the latest social media trend. No, it's not cinnamon again. It's not the Tide Pods. I think they try everything, and once it kills somebody, they're like, "Yeah, let's all do it." Yep, all of us college students are going to jump in and we're going to do this. Not all of them, just the ones that. Why do they want to do a fad, or is it a dare? Are they daring them to do it, or is this to be able to get into sorority? At first, her friends thought she was having a panic attack. Little did they know her body was beginning to shut down, according to Australian news. Um, Hayes had allegedly been chroming before the incident. Now, this is now popular by social media. Chroming involves huffing aerosol deodorant for a high. They're back to huffing again. I mean, that was the original one, was huffing. Um, and some kids were even huffing oven cleaner back at, oh boy, back in 96 to about 2000. They were everything they could huff. They were like, no more cinnamon, we're going to huff. And they were doing that. They were doing anything in aerosol that, like bug pesticides. They were doing, like I said, oven cleaner. They were doing all kinds of huffing, hairspray. Um, but they didn't mention. I never seen that they were doing deodorant. So now, parents beware. If your kids want to go from the stick and said, "Oh no, I want aerosol. I want the can." Um, Take a look at who they're hanging out with, and the possibility of huffing. Huffing it so many police officers. If you watch Cops way back then, they were catching a lot of these kids huffing, even older kids out of college. They get stuck on it. They want that high, and they were overdosing on some of this stuff. And um, I just, oh boy, I'm freelancing this one because it's very, very dangerous, and it will kill your brain cells. It does. And then they want that same high all over again. Um, Man, so keep an eye on your kids for this huffing. We're back to huffing. All right, the Gulf of Mexico Dead Zone project is smaller, they say. They're saying that the Gulf of Mexico is now eroding, but they say the East Coast is too. Now, if you watch waves, I mean, the oceans are I guess, are get maybe deeper, They may be washing ashore, but they say it's now, it's an annual occurrence this year. It's likely to be smaller than the 36 average, but even the reduction pans out. That doesn't mean it's all good because it takes away. I mean, if you got houses along the beach, it just erodes, and then you end up with the ocean in your backyard. And this keeps happening all along the East Coast. And this is the first time that I've heard that it hit the Gulf Coast. I've heard annually it does, but they don't make a real big deal out of it. Check with my show tomorrow night, my news tomorrow night. I'm going to do a little bit on climate and the eco geoengineering. So if you're interested in that, come watch my show tomorrow night. Um, State Farm, Allstate, no longer is issuing new California policies. Yeah, because I mean, cars are getting stolen, houses are being broke into, businesses are being broke into. Even I think Nordstrom, they're closing down. They said they have cut and cut and cut to where they can no longer cut, and they can't afford to stay open with no customers. There's no customers in San Francisco, so Nordstrom is closing down. Um, uh, all right, these kids are coating their lungs with dangerous chemicals that will never go away. You're right. It not only kills the brain cells, but think about what it's doing to their lungs. Karen, I don't understand this huffing thing. I can't see getting. There's other things you can get high off of. Uh, See if you can go to the dispensary or something. Don't huff, boy. So State Farm and Allstate are no longer going to do California policies, and they're going to start canceling out the customers they have. So if you're in California, you better call your insurance company, if it's Allstate or State Farm, and see if they are going to cut you as one of their customers. Boy, it's getting horrible out in California. Um, Today, 79 years ago, D-Day, and how FDR's powerful prayer united Americans back then on this day. The best part about the invasion is I have the feeling that friends are on their way, wrote Anne Frank. You can't erase the Holocaust. And I know many are trying to do that, or even try to change history. But you can't change Anne Frank's diary. And you can't change the documents with uh, the SS Nazi officers that went into the homes. And this is why we had a D-Day. And that's why we went over there. It was to stop the killing of the Jews. So, wow, a big day today, on this day. All right. Witches. Now I'm not sure if this is a hoax just to get attention to witches and Luciferian, or if it's these guys are real. Social media users speculate this carcass eating ritual was either a prank or satanic. And um, this is, I think, in Lower Canada, and it reported to capture the footage of what she said: two witches holding carcasses, eating the raw flesh. Witches, huh? And they said, I don't know what the heck is up with that, and that's what I said. What the heck? And it really freaked us out. It's not something you see every day. Um, so let me pull this up. There's the picture. Um, I don't know if somebody is just trying to get some attention. And I hated to put that picture up because, if they're doing it just to draw attention and say, hey, I'm all over the news today. I don't know if it's a hoax. I don't know if it's for real. I have never heard of cannibal witches. This is the first time. I mean, I've heard about they do rituals and they kill people, or they do herbs and different things, but I've never heard of them doing a ritual where they eat deer raw. I don't know. That's just, I would have to see the whole video. Um, um, and I hate, like I said, I hate doing this. And look at her arm. Her arm kind of got weird looking, they said. It was distorting as they took the camera, took pictures. And uh, basically, a walking demon from hell, maybe. If you hear a screaming, stay inside, get your gun. I don't know. I hope I don't get hit with any infractions for saying that. Um, but they say they get to the point where they get naked with the animals. This is all a new thing to me, and I've looked into Luciferian, satanic, and all the rituals, and I've never heard of this one. So I'm thinking that's why I said, is it real or is it a hoax? Um, um, yeah, I'm gonna say it's a hoax just to get attention. Now they in South Africa, um, they ended up uncovering carved signals, symbols, and it is gone back to caveman with the kind of the ape distorted faces. And so now they're starting to say, maybe there were cavemen, but there were people that look normal also. They're finding people that look like us, and they're finding these cavemen with unusual faces also in the same time period. So, research surrounding ancient human, uh, it says it could be a belief with about evolution and the complex thinking, they said. And I was like, boy, that's a mouthful. And why don't you just tell us? And they said the scientific studies basically suggest an ancient human was discovered in South Africa. They say it's a decade ago, and the government's been hiding it, and now somebody has found it and released it. This information, and the burials confirmed it's earliest yet known for at least over 100,000 years ago. So they say we can no longer question it. There were cavemen or ape man. Man, that it didn't come from ape. It was in between. It was the caveman with the long face. And get this, some of them were giants of over 10 feet tall. So the giants, the cavemen, and they even had hair on them. Is that, boy, you guys, is that Bigfoot? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. They're finding aliens now. A whistleblower came forward and said, there is, they do have captured something, whether it's a ship or if they actually got aliens. And he is a whistleblower. All right, so um, there are two new cancer pills that show results in boosting survival rates. They said it isn't a cure, but they say that the risk of death is more than is shown that it reduces the risk of death by 50%. Um, and I know some of us have known family members and we've lost them to cancer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down in my chat for anybody that is interested in reading this to find out more about this research, these pills, and what it might do to help your loved ones to reduce the reduce the cancer. All right, so let's see. All right, so let me throw this. Oops, there we go. This was in Fox News, and it's potentially changing the results of two new cancer drug studies that were introduced at the American Cancer and Clinical Oncology. This is for lung patients. The drug is called uh, asimertibinib. tin nib. Boy, I'm bad at names. And I'll, yeah. All right. We might get all this in here. There we go. There's the name. So if you guys want to look into it. So now more and more the scientists are creating drugs that are starting to, not a cure. It's not a cure. Uh, they did this so many years ago when I first was diagnosed with MS, and they said we have a pill, or no, they said we have a shot for it. No, I don't do shots. And they called it Avenex, and then it was Beta Seron, then it was um, the other one, and now they have a pill for them. So you can see where even the drugs, and it doesn't cure it, it just makes it so you have shorter times in between exasperations, or um, it will um, it lessens the exasperation, so it's not that bad. So now we're seeing this, and I wouldn't be surprised if Teva isn't on this. And Teva is one of the major companies that does look into drugs that cure major diseases. All right, so we're going to move on. PETA calls for climate change plan that wants 2,000 cows. They say it's ridiculous. The government kills squads, and they won't help. And get this: the woke generation wants the government to be a part of their house and watch them and listen to them in their house. No, I don't know about cameras, not in the bathroom or the bedrooms. No, I don't know. Uh, but PETA's getting upset about these cows, and they rightly should. Um, the cows are going to eliminate what we're seeing with the ozone, with climate. Um, Cow burps, cow farts, or whatever it is. Um, I think that PETA and other scientists and the geoengineering scientists are going to come forward, and they're going to say that this isn't happening, or it's not as bad as they think it is. How about we go to China and do away with their pollution, or not start fires in Canada? Yeah, I think that the fires in Canada are doing way worse than the cows over in Europe. Um, so, all right, we're down to the funny post, and um, let's see what this one. Um, these are just quotes by different people. Life is short. Um, Drive fast and leave a sexy corpse. Kathud. No, let's not run people over. What was that, Death Race 2000? No running people over. Don't drive fast. And this was Stanley Hudson of The Office. I guess that's the show, The Office. I always cook with wine. Sometimes I even add it to the food, said W.C. Fields. People say money is not the key to happiness, but I have always figured if you have money, you can have a key made. This was by Joan Rivers. I generally avoid temptation unless I can't resist it, said Mae West. Sometimes you lie in bed at night and you don't have a single thing to worry about. That always worries me. Good grief. This was said by Charlie Brown. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough, says Mae West. I love mankind. It's people I can't stand. That was Charles Schultz. I think God, in creating man, somewhat overestimated his ability, said Oscar Wilde. Two things are infinite: The universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the universe, said Albert Einstein. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be someone, somebody. Now I realize I should have been more specific, says Lily Tomlin. Um, Never put off till tomorrow what you can do the day after tomorrow, just as well. That was Mark Twain. Um, a woman is like a tea bag. Oh, I wonder what this one. You can't tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water. Eleanor Roosevelt. Boy, I could quote that one right now, huh, Karen? Yeah. Um, Lots of people want to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down, says Oprah Winfrey. Wine is constant proof that God loves us and loves us to see us happy, says Benjamin Franklin. When you're in jail, a good friend will be trying to bail you out. A best friend will be in the cell next to you saying, damn, that was fun. That's by Groucho Marx. So that is it for today. And come on back in a few minutes for the World War III report with me and William. I'm going to have to call them really quick and go over lots of good stuff. So come on back. And then, like I said, tomorrow I want to do a little bit on geoengineering and climate to tell you what the top scientists have to say. So subscribe, hit the like button, the thumb, yeah, hit the heart or one of them good little things. Smash it, follow us, and share with a friend. We will see you all tomorrow. We had a great time today. Share, share, share.